Ladies and gentlemen, this is an unbelievable turn of events. From the altar to Phoenix is rising. I looked out west to Kansas City, and here he comes. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to introduce himself because I don't want to ruin him. Give us your name, sir.
I appreciate that. So I'm Erik Bergrud. I'm the color commentator for the Kansas City Comets of the Major Arena Soccer League, and I am also the host of the Major Arena Soccer League's interview show, which is called 10 for 10, and we're getting ready to start our third season.
Man, I mean to tell you, good things happen to good people, and we have the ambush here. And we have the time of the steamers and the comets and the whole 9 yards, all of them. Even, I guess you had the county team, the Wichita Wings, huh?
All sorts of teams. You had, and in St. Louis, you started with the steamers, and then you had the storm before the ambush came around. And it's just some of the legendary players that have come through St. Louis, not only who played for St. Louis teams, but wound up playing against St. Louis teams. And so many of those early Kansas City Comets teams featured St. Louis guys who went to SLU, SIU, Edwardsville, or other places.
You're like my big brother, my little brother, I should say. Man, you know it all. And that goes out to say, hey, hope this ambush guy gives me a call, because you're at the top of the heap right here.
Well, there's a lot of, over the years, a little bit of big brother, little brother between St. Louis soccer and Kansas City soccer. But I would just say, representing Kansas City, I have so much respect for the history of St. Louis soccer. Obviously, going way, way back, but heading forward into the indoor era. And one of my prized possessions is I own a Slobo Ilievsky jersey.
Wow.
Which I keep in a very safe place. So grew up watching a lot of Steamers games over the years, and it's fun every time I get an opportunity to call a KC St. Louis game, whether it's here in Kansas City or there in St. Louis.
Wow, man. Just tell us, is it in the closet or in the back room, the basement? Well, oh my gosh!
It's in a safe closet, but
yeah, I get it. Oh man, do special guests get to see it?
Opportunity. So I was at some event where there were St. Louis fans at, and I don't know if they were auctioning it off or what, but when I saw the Slobo jersey, I absolutely had to buy it. I'm not sure how much cash I left home with after. Just so much great memories, and you're all about goalkeeping. I'm all about goalkeeping too, and so to think about some of the legends who've come from St. Louis, not just Slobo, but David Burchick, Jamie Swanner, etc. Just
wow.
So many great names associated to that position from St. Louis heading in today.
And I couldn't, my older brothers, Pat McBride, Al Truce, Rick Bin. Wow.
Yeah, no, and it's serious names. And, a funny story about Al Trost is, so he played for the St. Louis Stars. I grew up in Southern California, so I was there when the Stars moved to California, and
wow.
I remember the Surf coming to one of our practices. They were brand new. They had just moved from St. Louis, and some of the St. Louis guys coming to give us training sessions when I was fairly young. It was a rough deal for St. Louis soccer, but for those of us in Southern California, it was a great opportunity.
Yeah. How about the Steve Moyers coming around? Holy cow, man!
Great player.
Man.
And what a talented striker too. And so just so many guys who came over then, and it was really unfortunate that St. Louis lost its team, but then when the Steamers came around, the Checkerdome was or the arena, depending on the year, that was the place. And then you fast forward to today with St. Louis City in town, the ambush still playing in St. Charles, and the opportunities you have. I think fans today weren't alive to recall what life was like after the Stars left, and maybe take for granted all the opportunities that they have today.
If you were fortunate enough to go to some of the local indoor arenas and come and plop down and see, you saw everybody out on the field. It was something else, man.
Yeah, and just so much talent over the years. So not only guys who played professionally in St. Louis, but guys who maybe didn't make that level, but were good enough to play at that level. And I think that's been the hallmark of St. Louis soccer is the talent development over the generations, and why there's so much pride in your community about St. Louis, and maybe a little bit of animosity with Kansas City for claiming soccer capital. And I think Kansas City claims soccer capital for different reasons than St. Louis does. But there's no denying all the talent come through the youth clubs, the college teams, etc. there in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. And then you got the Rockhurst High School. You got the Rockhurst University.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that I-70 series, man, that's going to be happening for sure again.
Yeah, and I think that, with all the, some of it's good humor, some of it's not, the bannering between fans back and forth in both cities, I think that we're stronger when we're united. And
yes.
Just looking at where we are, you mentioned the I-70 series, there's so much spotlight that's going to be on soccer here, particularly in the state of Missouri, with World Cup coming to Kansas City, with base camps coming here, but then Olympics coming to St. Louis here in a few years. And so it does everybody better if we celebrate it all rather than sort of nitpick who gets to claim their market.
Yeah, and under full disclosure, it's Keith, correct?
That's Erik.
I knew it. I knew it.
The commissioner.
Yeah.
He runs the show.
Yeah. But the situation, Erik, is that our love of the position of goalkeeping allows us to step out and be like that. That it's so mature and so strong when we're together, man. That's the only way. That little parochial stuff, come on,
Well, and that and being just a little bit crazy and reckless by being a goalkeeper, you combine the two, and it's only a good thing.
Yeah, you go. And you got Chad, man. You got Chad DeGrief, I think.
Vandergriff is another local guy who went to SLU and is playing in Kansas City, and all the respect for him. Top defender in the league, and there's just so many quality players who've come out of the system there, and it's more than just the old expression. There's got to be something in the water. There's something that St. Louis has done extremely well in developing players over the years. There's a couple other markets that do it, but more so recently than St. Louis has been doing it for generations.
Well, you set the standard high, Erik. I'm going to have to tell this ambush guy, hey, this cool cat is a real daddy-o. I mean,
well, you could just name drop me and say, hey, how come it is that the Comet's announcer will jump on a call quickly?
Yeah.
I expect the same as St. Louis. So.
Yeah. And on the full disclosure, that's how it was. He said, you were asking, Erik, what do you think it's your time frame? I said, 5 minutes. 5 minutes now? If you can't...
You had a good time. But, no, I appreciate the opportunity. Again, much respect for the St. Louis soccer community. And anytime your listeners are in Kansas City for a game, would love to say hi, whether it's at a Comets game or a Sporting KC game or whatever else, would love to connect.
Could you give me 3 to 5 minutes to talk about your MASL show?
I'd be glad to talk about it. So let me explain what it is, and then
All right.
I'll give you sort of a teaser of season 3. So,
All right.
it began in 2024, when the Major Arena Soccer League was celebrating its 10th anniversary, and what I wanted to do was have somebody with a little bit of historical familiarity with the sport to be the host. So I was honored to be asked to do that. And so the first 2 seasons, we primarily focused on personalities across today's game. So that includes the commissioner, it includes a few announcers. Shelley Clark, the owner of co-owner of the St. Louis Ambush, was one of my earliest guests. But for the upcoming season, in season 3, we're going back to people who have a long-standing connection to indoor soccer, but are also looking ahead to the 2026 World Cup. So I'm not in a position where I can tease the names. I can tell you that St. Louis is absolutely represented in this season 3. But the idea would be to talk to some of the people who help make soccer what it is today, reflect on how indoor soccer played a part in this history, and look ahead to what we can expect this summer with the World Cup. So we'll be announcing episode 1 pretty soon. And as I said, St. Louis is absolutely represented. And I had an honor of interviewing one of the legendary names of St. Louis soccer, and talked about some of the things you and I have discussed today. The history, St. Louis University, some of the teams, might have even talked about Slobodan Ilievsky. So you'll have to stay tuned for that.
Oh, man, that's a teaser, baby. The situation is going fast forward with Pablo, with the Ambush. We're going to give you a game this season.
Well, and he's for sure, I mean, the way he's been playing, he's the odds-on favorite to be goalkeeper of the year. And I would say St. Louis had a rough weekend this past weekend, but if they could turn it around, he has an outside shot at league most valuable player. He's been that good this season. And so I look forward to seeing what the Ambush get to do the last month of the regular season, and excited the possibility of calling a Comet's Ambush playoff game.
And lastly, coming up to the house, can John Q and Jill Q get to listen to you and watch you?
Well, it was a great opportunity. So the Comets, I mean, some of those teams have been doing alumni events over the years, and Kansas City's interesting just because we've been playing indoor soccer here since 1981. And you have guys like Taikio, who not only played for the Comets, but played against the Comets for the Steamers, who love coming back to town. And so it's a great opportunity for them to reconnect, especially the guys who are back living in St. Louis who played here. They get to come back and reminisce about the old days. And so seeing Ty, it was too good an opportunity not to interview him. And he's such not only a great ambassador for the game, but he had my role previously in terms of being an indoor soccer color analyst, and so he sees the game from that perspective. And it was just a great honor spending a few minutes with him on the floor at Cable Dahmer Arena.
Yeah, and the last plus one is about how can someone follow you on YouTube?
Sure, I'm easy to follow. So I'm. First, my name's Erik Bergrud. That's Erik with a K, and that's Bergrud. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then on YouTube you can find me, and I've archived all my videos. So not only the 10 for 10 series on my YouTube channel, but some of the interviews I've done, all the broadcasts I've done for the Comets, and I'd love to connect.
Yes, if you're ever in St. Louis, you got lunch on the Whale.
I look forward to that. I we'll see where the schedule goes. I've called one game there. I've been to a few games there, but we'll see if an opportunity brings me there again soon.
And the last of the last is that I always reach out to say, hey, Erik, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to, for as long as you want to say it for. This is your opportunity.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate you reaching out to me, and thanks for what you do to promote goalkeeping as well as soccer in St. Louis, and thanks to all your listeners, and looking forward to more exciting soccer in 2026.
Right on, and we'll wake up that guy, that ambush guy. He could be sleeping now. He could still be sleeping.
Could be. Well, success. I hope you connect. Success to you, and I've enjoyed talking with you today.
All right then, Erik. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want us to know, Erik is now in the Whale Certified Hall of Fame.
I really appreciate that. Have a great afternoon.
Okay, Erik. Bye-bye.